Even the police of 11 countries are waiting for Don. But understand this, catching Don isn't just difficult, it's impossible. This dialogue from Don fits a real-life criminal perfectly. A man who was half Vietnamese, half Indian, but completely a con artist. When he was out of prison, police around the world went crazy trying to catch him. And when he was behind bars, the entire prison system operated according to his rules. Prison officials danced to his tune. He celebrated his birthday inside jail and even arranged drugs for fellow inmates. Whenever he wanted, he broke out of prison. To escape, he sometimes faked illness, sometimes pretended to vomit blood. He even escaped from India's high-security Tihar jail in such a dramatic way that everyone was left stunned. His influence was so strong that while lodged in Tihar jail, he signed a $5 million contract for a Hollywood film based on his life. He had the face of a French model and the manner of speaking like a professor, but a devilish mind that could get inside a person's veins instantly. Sometimes he posed as a businessman, sometimes as a diplomat, but in reality, he was a serial killer who first befriended his victims and then poisoned them into permanent silence. Each time, his passport was new, his name was new, but the smile on his face remained the same. Between 1972 and 1976, he traveled through Thailand, India, Afghanistan, Greece, and Nepal, and killed 24 people, most of them young women. When killing women, he seemed possessed by a strange obsession. He would strip off their upper clothes and leave the bodies dressed only in bikinis. Let's dive into the story of the world's most notorious criminal, the man known as the Bikini Killer, Charles Sobrage. How did a child who once longed for his parents' love become such a dangerous criminal? How did he breach the security of India's most secure prison, Tihar jail? And after so much looting, fraud, and murder, how is he still breathing free air in France today? He is one of the world's worst and most notorious serial killers. How many times do you think he did that? 20? 120? Maybe 100? 50+ murders, and still cold-blooded. Should he have been allowed to walk free? Charles Gurumukh Sobrage was born on April 6, 1944, in Saigon, Vietnam. His father, Sobrage Hatchard Bhavani, was an Indian businessman, and his mother, Tran Loan Phung, was Vietnamese. Soon after his birth, his parents' relationship fell apart, and they separated. His mother later married a French army officer, Lieutenant Alphonse Darieux, and took Charles to Marseille, France. Though his stepfather accepted him, he never gave him his name. Charles grew up feeling like an outsider. Even as a child, he sensed he didn't belong anywhere. No warmth at home, no friends at school. Because of his mixed race, French children avoided him. He often skipped classes, wandered alone, trying to understand the world. His mind was sharp, but inside him, a deep emptiness kept growing. And that emptiness would later become the most dangerous part of his personality. He deeply felt the absence of his biological father, who had abandoned him at birth. In anger, he once wrote in his diary, "I will make you regret not fulfilling your duty as a father." What he wrote in anger became the truth of his life. As time passed, his distance from loved ones grew, and he was drawn toward crime. At a young age, he began committing petty theft and fraud. He would manipulate people, win their trust, and then disappear after robbing them. Because of his mixed heritage, his looks were unique. He could blend easily into any culture. He knew multiple languages, French, English, Hindi, Vietnamese, and he could read faces. He knew exactly what to say to gain someone's trust. The boy who once felt rejected by the world had now chosen to deceive it. After dozens of thefts, in 1963, at age 19, he was arrested for the first time for jewelry theft and sent to Poissy prison in Paris. But even in prison, he continued manipulating people. He built the image of a helpless victim of circumstances, and it worked. Several prison officers sympathized with him. While other inmates received harsh treatment, Sobrage was treated lightly. There, he met Félix Descogne, a wealthy young man who volunteered weekly to provide legal assistance to prisoners. Sobrage charmed him. Soon they became friends. After his release, instead of going home, he moved into Félix's house. He now lived in two worlds. One, the bright, elite social circle of Félix, where he pretended to be refined. The other, his criminal underworld of theft and fraud. At a party, he met Chantal Compagnon, a young and beautiful woman from Paris. His charm won her heart. Friendship turned to love. One day, in a stolen car, he took her to a grand casino and proposed. But on the way back, he was arrested for the stolen vehicle and spent 8 months in jail. After release, they married. But marriage didn't change him. He expanded his criminal empire, fake checks, scams, targeting wealthy people. In 1970, fearing arrest, he borrowed Félix's car, took his savings, and fled France with his wife toward Asia. During the journey, he continued robbing people. Eventually, he reached Bombay, Mumbai, where his daughter was born. Fatherhood didn't change him either. He built a car smuggling network, stealing vehicles from Pakistan and Iran, bribing officials, and selling them in India. Then came a bold plan, robbing a jewelry store at Hotel Ashoka in Delhi. He tried to book the room above the store, but it was reserved by Spanish cabaret artist Gloria Mendelik. So he charmed her, posed as an international hotel chain owner, proposed marriage, and gained access to her room. While she performed, he attempted to drill through the floor, but the drill broke. Plan B. He had Gloria call the jeweler. Pretending to be a Nepali prince, he asked to see expensive jewels in her room. The jeweler's assistant came with valuables. Sobrage pulled a gun, drugged them. When the jeweler himself arrived, he drugged him too. He tied them up, took store keys, stole 15 lakh rupees worth of diamonds, and fled. But he left behind his passport with his real name. Police rushed to the airport, and there he was, waiting for an Air France flight. Seeing police, he vanished. 2 weeks later, he was arrested in Mumbai while attempting another robbery. He was sent to Tihar jail. There, he faked appendicitis, was taken to a hospital, escaped with help from his wife, but was caught hours later. Released on bail, he fled to Kabul, Afghanistan, where he targeted Western hippies seeking drugs. He drugged and robbed them. Arrested again. Escaped again by faking vomiting blood after drinking his own drawn blood. He fled to Iran, leaving his wife behind. Eventually, they separated. By 1975, he returned to India with Canadian Marie-André Leclerc and Indian accomplice Ajay Chowdhury. In Thailand, they targeted backpackers. He befriended them, drugged them, robbed them, and often murdered them. Victims were drowned, strangled, stabbed, burned. Jenny Bolivar, found floating in a bikini. Charmaine Carew, same pattern. Bodies in bikinis, faces disfigured. 6 women in weeks. He became known as the Bikini Killer. He murdered Dutch couple Henk and Cornelia, killed Laurent Carrière and Connie Jo Bronzich in Nepal. In 1976, in Delhi, he tried drugging French engineering students, but some resisted, alerted police. He was sentenced to 12 years in Tihar jail. But even prison became his kingdom. He had furniture, servants, influence. Guards called him Charles, sir. Facing extradition to Thailand in 1986, he executed his most dramatic escape, drugging guards during a fake birthday party and walking out of Tihar jail. Recaptured in Goa, sentence extended. Released in 1997 after Thailand's extradition window expired. Deported to France. Gave paid interviews, sold his story. In 2003, he foolishly returned to Nepal, where he was still wanted. Arrested, sentenced to life imprisonment. In 2008, at age 64, he married Nihita Biswas, 44 years younger. After nearly 2 decades, citing age and time served, Nepal's court released him on December 23, 2022. Today, Charles Sobrage breathes freely in France. No solid murder convictions there. Statutes expired. They say, a snake may grow old, but its venom never dies. So, who knows? At 81 years old, who might be his next target?